How challenging is it to shoot that race?
Pikes Peak is very difficult. There's the fatigue aspect from lack of sleep. There's the altitude sickness. There's the cold. It's everything. It's so difficult.
I mean, I want to congratulate you. Hall of Fame, Formula Drift. I mean, how?
I just thought to myself, are you crazy? Again, you're just, this is really hard. I love both. In my eyes, it's not work at all. I'm having the most fun. I'm having so much fun. There are those days where it's agonizing, but in reality, those are few and far between. You want to get your fix, K1 speed. It was my goal all the time whenever I was working with him. It could have been the smallest shoot, or it could have been a big shoot like Gymkhana with 200 people on set. Mm-hmm. I always pushed so hard, getting to the point where I'm in physical pain. It required it.
Welcome to The Creative Drive, the podcast where we explore the stories, journeys, and insights of the most inspiring automotive creators on the planet. I'm your host, Taro Koki, and today I'm super excited. We're sitting down with one of the most iconic photographers and content creators on the planet, Larry Chen. From capturing the raw energy of Formula Drift, his work with Ken Block, to shooting some of the rarest and wildest cars ever made, Larry has traveled the world, and his lens has captured how we see car culture today. I'm not kidding, guys. I've known this guy for 20 years, and I'm so happy to have him here in the studio. We'll get to dive into his creative process, his love for storytelling through visuals, and how he turned his passion into a thriving career that's inspired millions around the world. This is my interview with Larry Chen. Mr. Larry Chen.
Finally.
Thanks for coming, man. Appreciate it. Sort of had a long day. We've been at Air Water all day, and then it's just 10 minutes away, so we hopped in our cars and came over here. What'd you think of the event?
The event was good. I had an extra long day because I'm still jet lagged from being in Japan for 3 weeks. I woke up at 2 a.m. and
on purpose?
No. I decided that I had to be productive, so I did some work before coming to the Luftgekuhlt Airwater event. But this event was great because I had a chance to show my car at Luftgekuhlt for the first time. Part of it is because I don't have an air-cooled car. I have a water-cooled car. I have a 996 turbo that I've been building for quite a long time. And previously, they just didn't allow water-cooled cars, right? And now they have this event called Air and Water, which allows for both, which is super cool.
Yeah. It rained a little bit. I don't know. You were inside.
A lot of it. It rained a lot of it on the way there and also all day.
Yeah. It's really cool. I love that event. I just love, like, from a photographer's point of view, I mean, that, like, Luftgekuhlt and Air Water must be like a dream setting, though.
Yeah. And part of it is Jeff Zwart's doing. He is so visually focused and photo focused, and he is a photographer by trade, but he also is director. He really puts so much thought, like more thought than you would think, into car placement.
Yeah.
And we're talking about a matter of inches.
Yeah.
And we're talking about not just the way the car's parked, but what's behind the car.
Yeah.
What's through another car shooting into this car, or there's like a little peephole when you look through it, when you stick your camera into it.
Yeah.
It creates some crazy shape.
Yeah.
You wouldn't believe how deep these individuals get at these events. I've said it time and time again, Luftgekuhlt is the world's greatest car show.
Yeah.
I've been to so many my entire shooting career. I've been shooting for over 20 years. And car shows are normally just a jumble of cars parked together with no rhyme or reason. And when you have something so curated, like we're talking beyond museum level curated for a a fleeting moment, something that lasts just a couple hours. It's beautiful.
Yeah. In 1954, Honda had been making motorcycles for less than a decade when it boldly entered the Isle of Man TT races. Fast forward to 1961, Honda swept the podium, earning the top 5 finishes. But Honda racing was just getting started. In 1964, only 2 years into the automotive business, Honda entered Formula One. A year later, Honda took its first F1 checkered flag at the 1965 Mexican Grand Prix with the Honda-developed fuel injection system powering the Honda RA272 to victory. 60 years later, Honda is still going strong. The dedication and innovation that has brought hundreds of victories on the track is in everything Honda builds, because racing has always been at the heart of Honda. Learn more about the latest Honda racing news and innovations at hondaracing.com. I don't think the day is long enough to actually understand. For me, I had, the morning I was shooting with the guys, for video stuff and interviewing Jeff and Pat Long. And in the afternoon, I got to sort of walk around finally with my phone. And you kind of see these this is what they were trying to do, or this is what they wanted you to see. And I wish I had more time to sort of explore more and find those things that, they want you to sort of discover and explore.
Yeah. When it comes to these kind of events, I do a lot of cheating. I show up super early when they're loading in the day before.
Yeah.
So I'm there without the crowd.
Right.
I'm there when the cars are running. I'm there when they're rolling in. I'm there when the shapes and just the setup is not ready, but pretty much ready for me already.
Yeah.
And then, so what I like to do is I like to focus on the cars. I like to focus on the scenery and see what pictures I can make. Then the actual event day is when I just focus on the crowd. That's it.
I see.
The people that are enjoying the cars, the personalities, interesting crowd shape. And I'm talking about sometimes waiting for 5, 10, 15 minutes for the crowd to part just in a way where they're surrounding a car perfectly.
Yeah.
Or just willing a moment to happen. It could be like a kid playing with a toy car and it just happens to create some kind of interesting story or whatever. It's amazing to me how much you can will things to happen if you see it, if you have a foresight of what the picture should look like.
Right. Yeah, I feel like being patient is just definitely one of those things you need to be a photographer or a videographer. You just need to wait for that right moment, right?
And that's coming from somebody that's super impatient. I'm the most impatient ever.
So that was great. But recently, I want to congratulate you, Hall of Fame, Formula Drift. I mean, how you knew about that, right? I mean, they told you. How long ago did they tell you about that?
So Ryan Sage reached out to me a couple months before, and I don't know how to feel about it. I feel like it could have been good either way. I feel like if Ryan did not reach out to me, then it would have come just as big of a surprise, because it was a huge surprise when he reached out to me.
Yeah.
I was coming home from Barrett-Jackson,
right,
and he called me on the drive, and I just was beside myself. I was so shocked.
Right.
And he said some things that really surprised me. One of the things he initially said was, before he told me, he asked me if I'm coming back to FD next year.
Okay.
To be the official photographer. And I just thought to myself, are you crazy?
Why wouldn't I?
Yeah, why wouldn't I come? This is my home.
Yeah.
And he said to me, I'm never going to assume, I just want to confirm for sure. You just don't assume that somebody's going to come back.
Sure.
And continue being the official photographer, which is something I've been doing since 2012. I've been following the series since 2006. So and then he told me, that him and the Formula Drift staff and I guess the committee that they have going decided that I should be inducted into the Hall of Fame. And part of the reason why he wanted to tell me in advance is because he needed to get my ring size. Mm-hmm. And he also wanted to see, I guess, gauge how I would react or what my thoughts were.
Right.
He said in so many words that my reaction is what he appreciated and what he expected. Mm-hmm. I was just, I didn't even realize I was in contention, or I didn't even have an inkling, not even a single thread of thought that this would happen to me in my lifetime. Because as you know, I'm sure I can speak for you when I say that you do what you do, not for recognition in this kind of way. There's no Oscars or there's no Emmys for us. There's there's nothing like that for us automotive content creators, right? We just do it because we care, we love it, and it's our passion. And I'm just happy to be here. Right. With that said, it is truly a huge honor because of the fact that there's so many other people that are deserving. Mm-hmm. I mean, just off the top of my head, right? Daiyo Shihara, Von Gittin Jr., Mike Essa, so on and so forth. All these individuals, Steph Papadakis, people in the series now, and also people that have retired or semi-retired, that have made huge impact. And it wouldn't be the same. I guess their main criteria is, would the series be the same if this individual wasn't around, right? Yes. So the same goes for all these individuals, including people like Dai, including people like Von Gittin Jr. That's not to say they're not going to get their time, which I know that there's a short list, I'm sure. And I feel like I could probably guess the order that they would get inducted in. To follow up, Tanner Faust, Reese Millen, and Samuel Hubenet, who I saw some today, is ridiculous. Like, these individuals are legends in their own right. And the main difference, of course, is that when they go out there and they do their job and they work hard, they do get recognition in the form of a carbon fiber trophy or a championship or this, that, and the other, right? They have this crazy closet or display of just all of their championships and trophies, and they probably run out of room. They probably don't even have enough room for their second and third places. Yeah. They probably just put first places up. Yeah. Meanwhile, that's why it means even extra to me, really. Right.
Yeah, because as content creators, we're from the outside shooting the show, right? We're never in the show. We're just there to tell that story of something exciting and just fantastic going on, and we're helping to tell that story. But I think that says a lot about Formula Drift too, in the way they recognize you in terms of making that impact. I mean, I think you're making as much impact as the drivers out there as well.
It's interesting because I think about this more and more as I'm racing and as I'm driving, as I'm drifting more, as I'm spending more time behind the wheel. I realize that I'm having so much fun shooting and seeing them from the outside and enjoying cars my way. But it's easy for us to forget how much fun the drivers are having. Really. Yeah. I mean, they are having a blast while everyone else is watching. Yeah. We're watching them having fun. Yeah. And I understand in some aspects, in many aspects, it's very hard work, right? For them, it's very stressful and all of that. But they love it too. Yeah. I know they love it. Oh, and if they didn't love it, they would quit. Yeah. And some of them have. Yeah. But that's okay. The people that survive and the people that truly are passionate about it, they stick around and they are just having the best time of their life behind the wheel.
Yeah. So you mentioned Jeff Zwart. He's one, just like you, who was behind the lens, and now he's behind the wheel for 25, 30 years, right? You're sort of following his path, aren't you?
I am, and Jeff is somebody that I look up to. You know, he is somebody that, I mean, like I'm very candid about saying that I wish he was my dad, you know? He's incredible. He's really inspirational. Our career is exactly 30 to 35 years apart. The exact same path. And we're talking about exact in that he's shooting cars as new cars, and I'm shooting the same car, legitimately the same car, race cars or whatever. When he's shooting like a livery launch or something, I'm shooting it all these years later as a historic car.
Yeah.
And it's getting to the point where I'm shooting in the same locations that he shot at. For example, where I launched a car for Shelby recently, I launched their new GT350, and I photographed all these cars, launching them from manufacturers. He will text me and he'll say, "Hey, I launched the E30 M3 in 1988 or whatever on this road, on the same road where you shot this car." And it's just crazy to me that it's these parallel worlds, just this many years apart. And it just makes me happy that I'm able to work with him in this capacity. I shoot him when he's racing at Pikes Peak. And he was very gracious enough to, he was super gracious to write the foreword for my book. That's coming out in the summertime.
Congrats on that book.
Yeah, I'm super excited about that. While everybody is getting away from print, look at us too. Just diving headfirst into print.
Racer.
Yeah, diving so deep into print. I'm spending so much time and effort into this thing that realistically not many people will have in their hands. But the aspirational aspect of it, this thing that is a physical object that you can hold, that I've put my heart and soul into, I just think it's worth putting all this time to make it exist.
Yeah, no, totally. Like, 000, for example, you're part of that.
Yeah.
And then the new book from Carrara Media, and that's the book you're talking about. But not everyone can have their own book, right? Everyone can have their own Instagram account. Everyone can have their own YouTube account, where content is sort of like a commodity now, right? In the digital world now. I think print has more value, right? Because it's just so much, the hurdle to get there is much higher than just doing a post.
It feels more special.
Yeah.
It feels longer lasting. One of the things I always talk about is the fact that I've taken millions of photos in my life, and those photos are going to live on way past when I'm long gone. And that book is something that will live on. Can we just talk about the book real quick, since I already mentioned it?
Let's talk about the book.
My life's work book. Yeah. It's over 20 years of shooting, right? Starting in 2004 at an event that I think you were at. It's GT Live. Yes, you were there. You were there.
I was there, yeah.
GT Live 2004, California Speedway, my first real event. Yeah. Shooting from the stands and in the paddock. I published a bunch of my photos from that with a little point and shoot. That finishes the book. The book is backwards chronological, so it starts with my earliest work, my latest work from 2024, and it goes all the way down to 2004.
20 years.
Yes.
That's a long time to
over
be
20
shooting,
years. And I've shot so many photos in my lifetime. I think I calculated that I've shot over 2 million photos. I don't know. My memory is not that good right now. I'm just so tired. But yeah, because at one point I was shooting 350,000 photos average a year, and it goes up and down.
Okay.
Yeah. Some years I have more, some years I have less.
Then you should have more than 2 million then.
Yeah.
If you've been doing it for 20 years.
Well, I mean, it goes up and down.
Okay.
Right. The early years are slim.
Yeah.
And then it ramps up.
Right.
But I went through that many photos for this book, and to whittle it down to 2,000 was tough. So
got to kill those babies.
Yeah. I initially was thinking, okay, so 2,000, 20 years, 100 per year.
Yeah.
It ended up being 2,750 or something like that.
Yeah. Okay.
So more than 2,000.
Yeah.
It was really hard. And I thought initially that it was just going to be a picture book. Very little words, if any at all.
Yeah.
I had Jeff Zwart do the forward, and then I had Magnus Walker do the closer.
Yeah.
And maybe I would write an intro, and then it would just be all pictures. That quickly snowballed into Ryan from Carrara Media. He wrote a couple captions for certain chapters just to kind of summarize the chapter or whatever. And I just read them, and I really appreciate Ryan so much, because I almost feel like he did this by design, where I looked at it, I read the captions, and I was just thinking to myself, A, it's not my words, and B, it's just not me to just do things half-ass, So I spent so much time writing and putting in stories, as many stories as I could think of, just from over my career. And it was just nice to have him give me that push. So over quite a long period of time, I just kind of ate away at it on planes, in between transit, or in my hotel room.
Right.
I'm just eating away at it and writing more and more and more. And I'm such a terrible writer. I suck at writing. But I have a lot of stories to tell.
Yeah.
And I've been writing for a long time. I just was never, it wasn't my passion. It's hard to get it out of me. I also it was never really my passion to be in front of camera. I just happened to fall into this role. And because I'm in front of camera now, it's opened up so many doors for what I'm doing, including racing.
Yeah. It's a funny thing. I never intended to be in front of the camera either, but you're sort of like, when you're a storyteller, you end up being in front of the camera for some reason, right? Because I was behind the camera first originally for a very, very long time. And then it's like, okay, who's going to tell the story? It's like, we got to find someone. It's like, well, it's got to be me. I'm telling the story. So that's sort of the way I, ended up in front of the camera. How do you feel now being in front of the camera? You have 1 million followers on Instagram. Like, everybody knows you now. Like, you have 1 million people following you. Has that ever hit you like, oh my God?
Yeah, it's a lot.
Yeah.
I think about that all the time. I think about how much power it potentially has but I use it for good. I use it to spread the love and spread the culture that we love, that we care about. I'm doing my part. And I feel like everybody, if they care enough, they should do their part. So I'm just doing what I can. And I'm very lucky to be able to do this for work, because in my eyes, it's not work at all. I'm having the most fun. I'm having so much fun. There are those days where it's agonizing, but in reality, those are few and far between compared to the good days.
Yeah.
I mean, I think honestly, probably the worst part of my job is the transiting part. Once I'm there, it's great.
Right.
But on the plane, this, that, and the other, dealing with rental cars, hotels, this, all that is tough. But it's just a small price to pay for what we're able to do. So when I think about you, I picture you in a full-on fire suit on pit lane at Sebring, I remember in 2011 was my first Sebring. And
That was my first Sebring too.
That was your first Sebring too.
I was going to bring that up actually.
Oh, okay. So I remember I saw your suit and I was like, that's a snazzy suit. You can't eat spaghetti or anything in that suit because it's so shiny and beautiful and white. And
it was a white suit.
Yeah, it was a white suit. That's very brave of you to wear something that nice and clean. That's literally one pit wall. You know, like you just crawl over the pit wall and then you get all this dust on you and this, that. Yeah.
The big red ESPN.
Right? Yeah. So it's interesting. You know, we've had our time in the trenches and man, it's fun.
Yeah. So I remember that very clearly because I didn't know that was your first Sebring, but you know, I'd known you through Formula Drift throughout the years, and then that was like my first gig at Sebring, pit reporting for ALMS, right? And I was like this, you know, tuner guy. What am I doing here at Sebring at, you know, sports car racing? I was like completely fish out of water. And then I saw you, and I was like, oh my God, there's Larry. I know a face because I didn't know anybody there, and actually everybody was like white too. So I was
just gonna say
you're like the only other Asian guy.
It's one of those things, you know, I shoot so much racing and it's oftentimes that, right? And it's funny because I remember specifically one time I went to a drag race with Hot Rod Magazine and one of the guys that I was with, you know, we're good friends. He made a joke. He's like, hey, I saw another Asian. You guys must be friends. And I was like, oh, what a jerk.
Yeah.
Turns out we were friends. It was somebody that I knew.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So it's really funny. You know, I think about this all the time. You and I are so lucky that we're in this business because of how inclusive the car world is and racing. And it's incredible. Like I'm welcomed everywhere I go. Yeah. Everywhere. I've never had any problems because I'm Asian. I'm just a car guy, you know, I'm a car lover. And that's how we can relate on so many levels.
Yeah. There's that common, you know, thread of we all love cars. So we're all here at the same place. So we're all cool, right? Whether you're Asian or African American or white or whatever, it's like you're there at this event because we all love drag racing or Porsches or drifting or whatever it is. But do you kind of think about that, like as an Asian American, you know, sort of the impact that you might be making on like younger Asian kids?
I don't think about it until people do come up to me and tell me, or they DM me or email me and they tell me that it's like, it's good for Asian representation. I forget. Yeah. I really do. I forget because of how wonderful it is. To be honest, there's some bad apples. There are. Yeah. And it happens. But it's few and far between. It's so few. Yeah. Right? It's like literally count them on your hand few. Yeah. Right? Yeah. But it's to be expected, I guess. Yeah. But really, like I said, I forget about it as an issue or as what I'm representing because of the fact that it's so good. And then I get reminded, you know, people tell me, oh, I pick up photography because of you, and I'm, you know, doing this, coming out of my shell because of you. And that makes me happy because luckily I'm able to pass this on, right? That's what we're trying to do, is inspire other individuals. Especially with car photography, I always love to talk about the fact that we can enjoy these cars different ways. Like I mentioned with the drivers, they enjoy them by racing them or drifting them or being behind the wheel. I like that too, but I also like capturing them in their essence, their beauty, the destruction, you know, the patina. I like that a lot. That's my way of enjoying these cars on top of driving them. And if I can inspire others to do so, then yeah, I don't know what it is. It's just such a raw thing. I don't know what triggers it. I haven't put enough thought into it. But even, for example, last night, I was doing my livery reveal for my race car, right? For my BMW E30 spec race car.
Yeah.
It's a 7-Eleven livery. I revealed it today. I pulled up to a 7-Eleven last night, and these ladies just pulled up, and they're just like going crazy over this car, taking pictures with their cell phone. And I thought to myself, like, what are they going to use those for? They don't know who I am. They see that it's a 7-Eleven car in front of a 7-Eleven, and they were freaking out.
Yeah, I know.
Are they going to show it to their friends? Are they going to look at it later? I don't know. Maybe post it on their Instagram. It's the raw essence of something cool. Yeah. I want to take a picture of it for later. Yeah. I guess that's it. I mean, I can't tell you how many times that happened to me just last night. And it just happened to just be because we took my race car onto the street. Yeah. And it's just something that I capitalize on, I guess.
So Pikes Peak, we mentioned a couple times in Jeff Zwart. It's coming up in June. Are you going to be there again this year?
Yeah, of course. Yeah. That's like Ryan Sage asking me if I'm going to be at Formula Drift.
You're the official photographer, right?
I'm the official photographer, and I have been for a couple of years now. I've been following that race since 2011, which is the last year of the dirt. It's also my home. Yeah. I can't put one in front of the other. Yeah. I just can't. I love it so much because it's the most beautiful racetrack in the world, in my eyes. I think it's got to be the highest elevation racetrack in the world.
It's got to be, right? What, 14,000, 13,000?
Yeah, 14,115 feet. It's very special. Yeah. It's so cool, and it just doesn't look like anywhere else in the world. And they're very content creation focused. They absolutely love it so much. It's a nonprofit organization. I don't think most people don't know that. And they care about their legacy. Yeah. When I think about Pikes Peak, I think about the fact that it's been running for over 100 years. And what inspires me is when I see those photos from 100 years ago, or 80, or 70, 60. And I look at them and I think, I'm doing that now for people that are going to look back 50, 60, 70, 80, 100 years. That's what I'm doing. Yeah. And I'm just trying to show it, as well as Formula Drift, and honestly, everything that I'm shooting in its best light possible. Yeah.
I remember one Pikes Peak, I saw you again. We were hanging out, I think, near the starting line or something like that. Maybe we were, I don't know what we were doing, but we were like in the woods, maybe waiting for the cars to come or something. But that's a very challenging race to shoot, though. I mean, that one year we were near the starting line, so it wasn't that challenging. But you've spent hours and hours up on the hill. How challenging is it to shoot that race?
In my eyes, it's one of, if not the most physically challenging. And there's a lot of physically challenging races, and a lot of them that I haven't been to yet. Right? I'm sure Dakar is crazy physically challenging.
It's also dangerous too.
Yeah, I've had the opportunity to shoot Dakar many times now, and I've unfortunately just been busy. Part of it is that I just can't pry myself away from Tokyo Auto Salon every single year. Yeah. It's really tough because it takes 2-3 weeks out of your year, beginning of year. You have to miss New Year's. Yeah. It's difficult. But one year I will do it. But in terms of physical challenge, Pikes Peak is very difficult. There's the fatigue aspect from lack of sleep. There's the altitude sickness. There's the cold. It's everything.
Yeah.
It's so difficult. I mean, a lot of people complain on my videos and my content sometimes when I am complaining
Yeah.
about how hard it is. It's such a physical challenge, and oftentimes I'll get altitude sickness.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
And it's funny, my wife went up with me last year.
Mm-hmm.
She wanted to see what it was like, and so she was helping.
She get a massive headache,
carry stuff or whatever. She said to me she's never been so cold in her life. She was freezing.
Yeah.
And sometimes it gets to that point where it's just sideways rain, hail, snow, sleet.
Yeah.
And it's like negative whatever degrees. It's so cold up there. And the mountain will decide.
Yeah.
You know, she will let you go up the hill if she wants to, or she'll shut you down. You know, that's the beauty of the race. It's very unpredictable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've seen people come down with their like faces swollen from like lack of oxygen, and with like just you know, big headache and just completely looking like crap. You know, I mean, it's not just about complaining. It's like physically, it's really, really hard to be up there for so long.
There's oftentimes when I'm on camera vlogging, you know, talking about what I'm doing, I just can't move my lips. I can't talk because I am so deprived of oxygen. But I push through it.
Yeah.
I have yet to bring oxygen with me.
Mm-hmm.
I know a lot of individuals do.
Yeah.
And some on my team do.
Yeah.
I don't fault them for it. You know, if they need oxygen, they need oxygen.
Yeah.
But I try to push through it. And that's part of the reason why I say that a lot of people ask me why I don't drink alcohol or party or whatever. My life is so crazy as it is. I don't need anything to change,
to make it more exciting.
To alter my perception of reality or anything. I just don't need it, and I need to be as healthy as I can to keep up.
Yeah,
because I just need to stay out there longer, and I need to be able to move faster in between locations and go earlier. And I just need to stay fit.
Yeah. I stopped drinking about 5 years ago too, because it was getting hard for me to wake up early, you know, not for work, but like for, you know, surfing and things like that. But it does affect my work too. So, you know, my head's been clear, you know, it's just your brain's like, if your brain goes, it's like you go. Right?
Yeah. Yeah. And I'm not faulting anybody for enjoying what they want to enjoy. You know, that's on them. You know, good for everybody for liking what they like. What I like is to race and do stupid things with cars and take pictures all over the world. And to do that, I have to be in the best shape possible.
That at Pikes Peak, that Ken Block shot that you shot, one of the most iconic Pikes Peak images ever probably shot. What was it like working with Ken Block?
That is without a doubt my most iconic image. And I don't know if it's the most viewed, but it's up there.
Yeah.
Ken was something else. He was so incredible to work for. And I've said this time and time again. I've never pushed physically and mentally harder than I have in my life. Just working with him, he demanded the best and beyond. He was a very harsh critic. And that's okay, you know, because he was the best at what he did. He just expected the best from everybody. Yeah. And it was my goal all the time whenever I was working with him. It could have been the smallest shoot, or it could have been a big shoot like Gymkhana with 200 people on set. Mm-hmm. I always pushed so hard, just sacrificing sleep, sacrificing everything, just physically getting to the point where I'm in physical pain, carrying my equipment, climbing things, getting crazy places all over the world. It was absolutely, it required it, because I wanted to impress him. I wanted to justify his actions and what he was doing, and I wanted to showcase what he was doing in the best way possible. Like, this is extraordinary, extraordinary with my own eyes, but I need to capture it in a way where I can convey how extraordinary it is.
Yeah.
And part of it is because it's so important. My job on set when I was with the Hoonigans and when I was with Ken was a very important and stressful job, because my ultimate goal every time was to get that thumbnail shot.
Yeah.
That's the shot. Instead of doing like a video capture, like a screenshot or screen capture, they prefer to use a still image that is frozen in time, that is tack sharp, that can tell the story with one frame.
Yeah.
And I prided myself in having most of the Gymkhana, even with Travis Pastrana, just having shot the thumbnail shot, because that's the first thing that people see.
Yeah.
And I can very honestly and I can say with confidence that because I was put into this position of shooting the thumbnail shots, over 1 billion people have seen my photos, maybe more. I don't know. Because if you think about it, if you add up all the views, people are looking at this thing that they're going to watch and they see a flash, or at least they see my photo first to draw them into the video. Yeah. And that's such a powerful thing. I think about that all the time. Yeah. I think about the fact that something that I created with my camera, so many people have seen. Yeah. And I'm talking about just the general public, right? When I'm in a crowded room, or when I'm in the airport, when I'm in an airplane, I think, how many of these people have seen my photos? There's a good chance that it's a thing, right? It's crazy. It's amazing. Heck, last night, I got to tell you the story, man.
All right.
This is so insane. This has happened a couple times. But last night was just a good reminder. We were shooting my Spec E30, BMW race car. We were shooting in San Pedro. Okay, we started at the Queen Mary, got some shots at the Queen Mary, where we held that meet recently with Type S.
Yep. Insane.
Yeah, insane meet.
Yeah.
So insane. All of Southern California came out, basically.
That was crazy.
So I did my initial sunset shots. Then I got in my race car. We drove it over the Vincent Thomas Bridge, and we got into San Pedro, because that's a 7-Eleven that has like a nice big parking lot. Just wanted to park there and get some shots. Yeah. Parked in the 7-Eleven. Me and my video guy got out. My videographer was looking around, and he's like, oh, there's a cool angle here. And the cool angle was shooting from the middle of the street in the turn lane, right next to the 7-Eleven. And I was kind of working my way there. I was like, oh, cool, I got to get this shot. And 2 cops in their patrol cars roll up and pull right up to him.
Okay.
Right up to him. And I thought to myself, uh-oh, we're in trouble. Because realistically, we shouldn't be blocking traffic. Generally speaking, we try to either shoot where it's just public area, right? If we shoot from the sidewalk, but maybe I'll step into the street to get like a different angle, but I just have to make sure the traffic's not coming, right? We'll get our shot and get out of the way. Yeah. That's what he was doing.
Right.
But the cops literally just rolled up on him, and one of the drivers of the lead vehicle looks at Tyler, my video guy, and he's like, is that Larry Chen? And Tyler's like, yeah, that's him. Yeah, go say hi. And then then they pull up
my God.
another, whatever, 20, 25 feet
Uh-huh.
next to me. And he stops and he's like, "Hey, Larry." And I turn around and I look at him and I was like, "Oh, hey." Like, I didn't know if it was somebody that I knew.
Right.
Because I know a lot of police officers that have incredible builds, incredible cars all over LA, all over the world, actually. And the guys, he just, him and his partner look at me and he's like, "I watch your stuff all the time. I watch your YouTube channel. This is cool that you're shooting, whatever." And then he's like, "Well, just be safe. See you later." And he just pulls away. And I just look at Tyler and we're just dumbfounded. We're like, he's standing in the middle of the street still. I was like, we may not get the most views, but we're getting the right views.
You're definitely getting the right views.
It makes me so happy that happened. And not to say that because we didn't get in trouble, it's more just the situation overall. It just made me so happy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a funny situation, though. I mean, yeah. But you must get this around the world now.
Yeah.
Don't you?
And to be honest with you, it's nice because I can shut off. Unlike a lot of people in the limelight, they just can't shut off, right? They're always being bombarded.
Right.
If I and this is something that Matt Ferris talked about all the time. He's like, if I want to be on, I'll go to a car event. Like he was there at Luftgekuhlt today. Yeah. I'm sure he was getting bombarded nonstop all day, every day. Right. Yeah. Everyone's asking for selfies. They want to talk to him about his cars or their car or show him their car, whatever. It's the same way with me, right? If I'm on, if I have my hat on, if I have my cameras, come up to me and say hi. Yeah. I want to talk about cars. Right. This is why I'm here. Yeah. Right? The one-on-one interaction is so important to me. I'll say hi to everyone. I'll take all the selfies, all that. I'm on. But oftentimes when I am doing my normal things, I run into car fans, and that makes me so happy. Right? So I purposely keep a stack of stickers in my passport because who knows? Yeah. Whenever I'm traveling, it could be the border agent. It's happened to me. Yeah. Where they're like, "Hey, I watched your stuff." Yeah. It makes me happy that it has that kind of reach, right? Yeah. The car world is something that you can't hold back, and it's the biggest it's ever been, period. Yeah. It's something that we would have dreamed about, you and I, as kids. Yeah. We could have only wished that this would happen. Yeah. No, right? It's crazy. I've had that, I don't hold a U.S. passport, so I go into the visitor line, and usually, they're most of the time they're nice, but they're sort of like, "What are you here for?" Hollering your say, and they see the green card and they're like, "Okay," and then they're like, "Oh, what do you do?" It's like, "Oh, one time I told them I work for GT Channel." I was like, "GT Channel?" They knew, and they were fans. So it's gratifying, isn't it, when that happens, right? It's like when you're not expecting it, and they're like, they know you, and they're like, "Cool, keep on doing what you're doing. You're doing good." Yeah, I don't do it for that again. The recognition. I just want to do cool car things. Yeah, and with that said, it still makes me happy that we're able to inspire other people, to continue this thing. Yeah. So you started creating videos too at a certain point of your career. How has that transition been from going from still to video? That's part of the reason why I figured right now is a good time to do a book. So yeah, the book is just a sideline. The book is available for pre-order right now. If you guys want to. CarraraMedia.com. Yeah, order it. It does come out in the summertime. But I figured this was a good time to do the book because, truth be told, I am slowing down in my shooting. It's by design. It's not because there's not enough stuff to shoot. There's plenty of stuff to shoot. It's just because I'm splitting my time now with video. Yeah. Right? It's half video, half stills. And part of it is because we're doing so much on video. I'm in front of camera so much. We have a show on the Hagerty channel that we're on our 4th season, which is something that I'm very proud of. It's called Capturing Car Culture with Larry Chen. And it's something that I've only wished existed. It's something that honestly, I'm just creating content that I would have enjoyed as a kid, especially growing up watching Best Motoring, watching Hot Version, watching Option. And we had to illegally download that stuff because it wasn't available in the US, you know?
BitTorrent.
Yeah, we it was even before BitTorrent was existing, you know? It was a thing that we could only get small segments. And a lot of times it wasn't dubbed yet. So we just kind of watched it and tried to understand some of the Japanese. So that kind of content inspired me a lot. And now I'm trying to create content that I would have just enjoyed so much as a kid. Yeah. And we put a lot of time and effort into it. And it's something that I just can't believe exists that I'm able to do. Hagerty gives me the most creative control. The most. Right. At first, we had to prove ourselves a little bit. Okay. And then once season 1 was over, it pretty much opened the floodgates for us to just tell the best story possible. Right. And we're really proud of it. Yeah.
With, streamers out there like, Netflix, and you have like brands like Hagerty, which was originally not a media company, almost now becoming a media company. Where do you think automotive media is going? It's a big question, but from
where it's going.
Yeah, where's it going?
It's interesting because I think, I don't know if you'll agree with me or not, but it's difficult. Like, it almost feels like there's less and less legacy brands like Racer, right?
For sure.
But the ones that survive are here for the long run. Yeah. And part of it maybe is because the ones that survive can adapt, and the ones that disappeared just couldn't change with the times. So there's going to be more individual content creators like myself. But I find that the appetite for content is still growing. Yep. It's growing bigger than it's ever been growing. We can't publish enough. We can't post enough. Yeah. We can't. I just don't have enough time in the day or days in the year to travel to tell these stories. Yeah. My hit list is so long. Yeah. So long. I don't know if I'll ever get to the end of my hit list, because I guess that's the beauty of it. There's always so many interesting stories to tell, and fresh stories too, that are interesting to me. And that's the main reason why I want to tell them, because I figured if it's interesting to me and it's something that inspires me, it should be interesting to the rest of the car world. Yeah.
Well, I agree with you. I mean, I think Racer agrees with you too. That's why I'm at Racer. My official title is president of the Creator Network, right? So we're here to collaborate with creators. I mean, I was a creator myself. I'm still a creator. And we realize that we have to expand and collaborate and work with individual creators in order to survive and be, relevant in the future as well. And we bring, credibility. We bring, Racer is an authoritative brand in motorsports, but, like air water, for example, that's car culture and that's automotive lifestyle, right? That's a lane that Racer had not been in the future. And the reason why we were there today is because we need to expand into those lanes as well as a brand. And we can't create everything ourselves. So we need to work with creators like yourself, other creators that are in motorcycle, dirt, right? They're doing cool things. The only way a media brand can survive is by working with creators, I think, because we're all sort of on the same level playing field now, right? And one thing that we can also bring to the table is providing platforms. So, with the recent acquisition of MEV TV, we have a racer network now, which is, in millions of households now. We're on Fast, and we have an app now. So these are sort of the things that we can offer creators to distribute their content in other ways that, you might not be able to so easily, right?
Do you see the effect of F1 being as the most popular it's ever been? I'm assuming you do. And
yeah.
I'm assuming that this time period of Netflix, pushing F1 and it becoming a normal household thing in the US, I'm assuming that we're going to see a pretty big wave of racers in this generation, right? I'm assuming that a lot of kids will get into go-karting or midgets or whatever behind the wheel. And I think it's going to set us up for success for the near future, at least this next generation, or maybe 2 or 3 generations.
Yeah, I think so. Liberty Media buying Formula One is huge for the United States, right? We have 3 races now in the U.S. They're the promoter in Las Vegas as well, so they own all that as well. And the top of the funnel is karting, as you say, right? And tools like Drive to Survive promote the sport so much at like the bottom of the funnel, where they're like it's the top of the pyramid, maybe. But the bottom here is kids, right, that are watching that show and like, how do I become like, Max Verstappen? You got to get into karting, right? So these K1 speed and like karting, like like karting coming to the U.S. That's all gonna just.
I see it just on the ground level of the new tracks opening up.
Yeah.
For the longest time, and still now, we're losing tracks, right? But now new tracks are popping up, and that's awesome.
Yeah.
That is so good. In a time when R.I.P. Irwindale and this, that, and the other track getting shut down,
right?
We're getting new tracks, and people are super positive about them being supported by the community and thriving. Yeah.
Like tracks that can adapt, right? And, kind of adapt to this new wave, I think will strive. And that's why the new tracks are being owned by like people with different mindsets, right? They're not made for, like huge crowds anymore. Like these tracks that they're building now are sort of like a different kind of track, different business model. I was like looking into like K1 Speed. I mean, they're like building more and more of those things. They have like more than 115 or 20 of them like around the world now.
Yeah, you want to get your fix, K1 Speed. Can I just point out how crazy of a track Ebisu is? I got a chance to drive it for the first time just last week.
You all right?
At my first spring Matsuri.
Oh, yeah, event. I saw that. Yeah. I saw that, yeah. That looked fun.
What a crazy track. Kumakubo has a really good screw loose.
Yeah.
In that, what a visionary.
Yeah.
What a visionary. Just such a cool place that exists in Japan and that's so special, that's different from everywhere else in the world.
Yeah.
We need more places like that.
Yeah.
Where people can go and get their fix of enjoying cars. And it could be road racing and Higashi and drifting. I wish they would bring back the drift jump back in Minami, but maybe one day.
Yeah, yeah.
It's wonderful. I just thought so many times, time and time again, when I was driving over that 3-day weekend, just wow, I can't believe this still exists in 2025. I'm just so happy that I had a chance to experience it. I'm going to continue experiencing it.
No, that's a great place. I was just, someone shared with me just recently, like 20 years ago on G4 TV, I took Dai and Forsberg to the toge track at Ebisu. And it was like 20 years ago. I mean, God, time flies. It's like G4 TV. Remember that?
Yeah. So if you folks are into drifting at all, it's worth the pilgrimage because
think
it
so.
is.
Yeah.
It is a pilgrimage, and it's far.
Yeah.
It's in Fukushima. It's quite a long way from Tokyo, but it's worth it because it's so special.
Yeah. You talked about your team, right? You have a whole team now.
Yeah, it's 8 of us.
Yeah. And your business is, I mean, you kind of lead this as a almost like a CEO, right? You're the president of this company now.
Yeah, I mean, I steer the ship.
Yeah.
There's no way to do what I'm doing without help.
Yeah.
And I have such a great team. I have a very, very good team of individuals that are very passionate, just as passionate. All of them are into cars and car culture. Otherwise, they wouldn't be doing what they do.
Right.
Because the hours are long. It's very difficult. It's challenging as all hell. But we all love what we do.
Yeah.
We all are passionate about what we do. And it's such a good time. Yeah. It really is.
How much of a business person do you need to be a successful creator? What's that balance like for you?
It's kind of insane because I see so many artists and photographers and content creators that honestly are so much more talented than I am. But maybe they just don't have as much experience on the business side. It just takes time to develop.
Yeah.
Because part of it is the relationships. Part of it is just making mistakes and learning, and but they'll get to it. Yeah. That's the beauty of it. If you're passionate about it, and if you care enough, then it'll fall into place.
I think you've done a really great job throughout the years, like working with brands and long term too. Like once you're with a brand, I think you've been with brands like you work with like Pennzoil and Toyota and what's your key to working with brands long term?
Oh, it really just comes down to one thing. It's so simple. It's just to deliver the absolute best, come hell or high water. It doesn't matter if I'm sick, if some hard drive crash or this, that, and the other, or even if the car's not. If we're shooting a car and the car doesn't run, or half of the car is destroyed or gone, or you wouldn't believe some of the stuff we have to deal with, right, when we're shooting. Yeah. But because we've been shooting for so long, we just know. Yeah. We just know at least certain steps to take to make sure we end up with a product that the client is happy with. Right. We do everything we can in our power to do our absolute best. Yeah. And it's not, we missed it this time. No, it's, if we miss it, we might as well just give up. And we just really pride ourselves in the consistency and also the reliability. Yeah. That's really it. We just care so much. And I really like working with these brands one-on-one. I don't have a manager. I don't have somebody that I have them refer to. I deal with everybody because it's such a personal thing for me. If they need our help to launch a car or a tire or some brand or whatever, it doesn't matter what it is. We care. We really like it. I mean, working with Toyota is such a dream, you know, and Nissan and Ford and all of these incredible brands, Volkswagen. It's so nice to be able to work with the OEMs in this capacity. I never ever thought I would be in this position, but we're really appreciative of it. Yeah. And I think maybe they can tell that we care. Yeah. For example, we sunsetted the Nissan R35. And I watched Carlos go and launch that car on stage, at the Tokyo Motor Show in 2007. I was there. I watched that car roll out, and I thought to myself, "Oh my God! Like this is so crazy.
Yeah.
It's so cool." I didn't know all these years later I would be the one setting it into the sunset.
Yeah.
I had no idea, and it's really truly is an honor because those things inspired me.
Yeah.
Seeing the R34 brochure, seeing those launch pictures of the Z's, of all this stuff, even the A86, what they were able to do back then.
Yeah.
Incredible.
Yeah.
And that inspired me a lot to do what I do now. And I just, if I could have a little bit of the essence of what they did back then with film, with the modern equipment that I have now, it makes me happy.
Good stuff. I'm so happy to see you where you are. I've known you for a long time, and I think the first time we just started talking was like when you were still shooting for probably not an official photographer for Formula Drift. I've seen you throughout the years at different events and things like that, but always happy to see you like outside of Formula Drift too. Like I said at like Sebring, it's like, oh, Larry's here. We're going to start wrapping this up. Thanks for your time.
Yeah, of course.
Larry. I'm going to try this thing called a rapid fire segment. Okay. All right. We're almost there.
Pew, pew. Rapid fire.
Yes, exactly. Quick answers, quick questions. I just want to get your take on these. Okay.
Okay.
So we're doing that.
I'm long-winded.
The creative drive.
When you get me on a roll, I've just... I got a lot of stories to tell.
I know you do. We can go on forever, but I know you're tired. You're jet lagged, and I'm not going to keep you here forever. So this is the Creative Drive Rapid Fire with our guest Larry Chen. Turbo or NA?
Oh.
we can go on forever.
So, just real quick.
Yeah,
I picked up my first Honda Integra Type R. It's a NA car that has like a turbo lag, right? With VTEC. So cool.
Yep.
With that said, I have a lot more turbo cars. I only really have two naturally aspirated cars.
Okay.
Because I tend to add force induction to a car when I get it.
So you're a turbo guy then.
Yeah, I'm a turbo. Yeah. No, it's not turbo. It's force induction. Okay, right? Because a couple of my cars are supercharged.
Okay, that's right.
Force induction is the way.
Yes. Your FJ was supercharged for a while too, right?
Yeah.
Even your FJ.
Yeah,
right?
FJ and my Tundra.
Yeah. Drift or grip?
Again, you're just... This is really hard. I love both. I love both so much. I mean, I love wheel-to-wheel racing, and I love drifting. I spend equally the time between the two. It's hard to say. If I had to choose one, is that what you're saying? I come from grip, so I always have to choose grip.
All right.
Yeah.
Car you'd buy if money was no object?
I mean, I guess McLaren F1.
Okay.
Best car.
Good. Dumbest excuse you heard from a driver after crashing?
Oh, I don't know. I have no idea. I don't think I can't even think of an instance where somebody's given me an excuse.
All right.
Yeah. Maybe everyone's honest.
Yeah. Maybe they just own it.
Yeah.
Theme song of your career?
It's got to be Push It to the Limit. Something like that.
Weirdest thing a fan asked you to sign?
Oh, that's easy. At Pikes Peak, Glock 17, I signed the slide.
What's more dangerous, the first turn at FD Long Beach or a gas station burrito?
Definitely the first turn at FD Long Beach because I experience understeer there because in my Supra, first couple runs, great, a lot of grip. Then I pick up marbles.
Mm-hmm.
I pick up everyone else's tires.
Yeah.
And then I understeer.
Yeah. The sports car guys complain a lot
Oh, I bet.
after
I can only imagine.
after the super drift.
Yeah.
What's the most useless skill you'd like to master?
Useless skill. I guess I wouldn't really want to have a skill if it was useless. I don't know.
Something you would like to master for fun. Just for the heck of it.
That is a good question. I don't know. I'm drawing blank. Sorry.
All right. Which actor would portray you in a movie?
I guess it would have to be Sun Kang, huh? Got the flowing hair.
All
going.
right. Last question. If you weren't a photographer, what job would you have?
Maybe I would. I mean, I did IT. I've done so many odd jobs. I probably maybe would be a chef or something. I like cooking. I just don't have the time.
What do you like to cook? Do you cook Chinese food or you cook Italian food?
I feel like I cook a little bit of everything.
You cook at home?
When I have a chance to. I like to barbecue a lot. Yeah, I just don't really have the time to invest in that stuff.
Cook then.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Great. All right. So last segment, we're going to wrap this up. Okay. This segment is called Who's Boosting It? I have 3 questions for you. Okay. We're spotlighting creator, brand, or event who's killing it right now. So who's killing it right now as a creator?
I follow so many creators.
Who comes to mind?
I'll say my good friend, I'm sure you know her too, Allison, who Ignite Media. She is incredible. She shoots a lot of racing.
Yeah.
We work together a lot. And we actually started around the same time. Yeah,
she's solid.
Yeah, she's incredible. I feel like there needs to be more strong female creators in this space, and her doing just seeing her doing what she's doing, hopefully opens the door for other female creators to come in and shoot cars. It doesn't have to be racing too. Yeah, it could be anything car culture. So yeah, it's just really cool to see that she's doing her thing.
Yeah, agreed. Brand that's killing it right now.
Brand that's killing it. That's a good one. I already talked about Luftgekuhlt. Gotta say Grid Life is killing it. Yeah. Grid Life is great because it's like a very low stress event for a lot of people. I mean, I could see drivers being stressed out if they're doing the wheel-to-wheel racing, if they're doing the time attack or whatever. Yeah. If they're competing, but overall, it being a festival vibe makes it incredible. Like, it's so cool to see the drifters just hanging out there and just having fun and really just push these cars to their limit just for fun, just for show, not to win awards or anything. I think that's great.
Atlanta's going to be a great event for Formula Drift and Grid Life.
Yeah, it's going to be incredible.
Yeah. And the last question was actually the event that's killing it right now, but that's kind of Grid Life, right?
Yeah. Another event that's really cool that I had a chance to go to last year was Ultra Race in Poland. Really cool car show. that draws cars from all over Europe. It's just so amazing. I constantly get surprised because of how creative these individuals are.
Yeah.
No matter where you go in the world.
Right.
Whether they're restricted by certain regulations or unrestricted.
Yeah.
It's always something that's fresh and new. And I love that.
Yeah. That's the best thing about traveling, right? You get to see that. All right, Larry, last question we ask all of our guests. What is your creative drive?
It's something I've been talking about more and more recently. I think it's life fulfillment. That's why I'm racing.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I'm doing what I want to do, because it's one thing just to grind and grind and grind. What's the end game,
Yeah.
I wouldn't say end game, but my drive is just more life experiences, life fulfillment. And the more I get, the better. And it's just, the moment I'm not having fun is when I should quit, but I don't see that happening.
All right.
Yeah.
Larry Chen, thank you very much for being on The Creative Drive. Appreciate it, man.
Thank you. Appreciate you.
Thanks for watching and listening to The Creative Drive, where we offer listeners a candid look into the minds of automotive creators and their journeys. The Creative Drive is available on all podcast platforms, and we have more awesome guests lined up for you guys, so please subscribe so you don't miss any episodes. If you're interested in partnering with us, or if you have any feedback, please email us at podcast@racer.com or DM us in our Instagram. The Creative Drive is produced by Molly Binks from Racer Studio, directed by TJ Keon, creative director George Tamayo, and edited by Andrew Snyder. We've got New Nick, OG Nick, and Morgan on the socials. I'm your host, Taro Koki. Thanks for watching again, and we'll see you next time.